For the longest time, AI was kind of like the electricity in your walls. You knew it was there, powering your Google searches, your photo app, but you never really saw it. Well, that has completely changed. AI is no longer just a quiet helper in the background. It's stepping out onto the main stage, and it is reshaping our world at a mind-blowing speed. So let's take a beat and really try to understand what this AI revolution is all about.
And that really brings us to the single biggest question we have to ask ourselves. Is what we're building just a fancier tool, like a super intelligent hammer? Or are we actually creating a new kind of collaborator, a genuine teammate? That's the question we're going to explore today. Okay, so before we can possibly look at where all this is going, we've got to make sure we're on the same page about where we're starting. So first things first, what exactly is artificial intelligence? Now look at those words. We're not talking about just crunching numbers faster. We're talking about systems that can learn, that can reason, that can perceive the world around them. These are the things that we, until very recently, thought were exclusively human. This isn't just about engineering a better machine. It's about trying to build a completely different kind of intelligence. This is our starting point. And you can see right from the beginning, the ambition here was just huge. AI was never just one thing. It was this whole collection of enormous challenges. I mean, how do you teach a computer to actually understand a conversation, not just recognize words? How do you get it to see and make sense of the visual world or plan a strategy like a grandmaster? Each one of these bullet points is a monumental task in and of itself. So yeah, the goals have been around for a long, long time. But for decades, real progress felt kind of slow. So what changed? What was the breakthrough? Well, it was a massive fundamental shift in how we teach machines to think. And this, right here, is the key that unlocked the absolute explosion of AI that we're all witnessing. Okay, think of it like this. The old way, early AI, was like trying to teach a kid to recognize a cat by writing an infinitely long rulebook. If it has pointy ears, and it has whiskers, and it has a long tail, then it is a cat. It was brittle, and it broke all the time. The modern approach, it's completely different. We don't write rules. We just show it a billion pictures of cats and say, you figure it out. It learns the essence of catness all by itself by finding the patterns. And that's it. That one single leap from being programmed with rules to learning from raw data, that is the engine behind absolutely everything we're seeing. ChatGPT, image generators, the incredible scientific breakthroughs, you can trace them all back to this one idea. This was the rocket fuel. So what happens when these incredibly powerful, data-hungry AIs start to act on their own? Well, they're not just answering our questions anymore. They're actually starting to get a job to do. And this right here is the next frontier. It's this idea of agentic AI. So forget about the passive assistants that just sit there and wait for you to type something. We are now talking about systems that are designed to take initiative and get things done. Let's make this really clear. We all know AI co-pilots, right? They help you finish a sentence in an email. They're useful, sure, but they're kind of like a backseat driver. This next wave, autonomous agents, that's more like your co-founder. You don't give it a list of instructions, you give it a goal. You say, figure out how to increase our Q4 sales, and it develops the strategy and executes the steps to make it happen. See the difference? So what does this look like in the real world? Well, imagine an AI that runs an entire supply chain, not just tracking boxes, but predicting future demand based on weather patterns and news events, and then automatically ordering new stock. Or think about an agent that compiles the entire quarterly financial report on its own, pulling data from sales, from marketing, from ops, and delivering a finished analysis. That's the kind of autonomy we're headed towards. Now, this whole shift isn't just happening in some futuristic corporate headquarters. The impact of these smarter, more capable AIs is spreading out everywhere, from our biggest industries right down to the little supercomputers we all carry around in our pockets. For so long, all the real AI horsepower lived out there in the cloud, on these giant server farms. But that's changing, and it's changing fast. We're now seeing incredibly powerful AI models that run right on your phone. And why is that a huge deal? Well, two big reasons: speed and privacy. Things happen instantly with zero network lag. And maybe more importantly, your personal data can stay on your device, with you. The intelligence is coming home, so to speak. And if you just scan across any major industry, you see the same story playing out. AI is becoming a core part of the toolkit. In healthcare, it's becoming a partner in diagnostics. In manufacturing, it's like a crystal ball for predicting when a machine will break down. This isn't just about making things a little more efficient anymore. It's becoming a fundamental part of how business gets done. And what about generative AI? I mean, just a couple years ago, it was mostly a fun toy for making weird pictures of astronauts riding horses. But now it is a serious tool for science. It's being used to design brand new drugs from scratch, to model incredibly complex climate systems, and to open up entirely new fields of research. It has graduated from the playground to the research lab. Okay, with all of this incredible, world-changing power comes an equally enormous responsibility. If AI is really going to become this teammate, this collaborator in our society, we have to be absolutely sure that it's operating safely, ethically, and for our benefit. And let's be clear, these are not some far-off science fiction problems. This is stuff we are grappling with right now. We're seeing algorithms that reflect human biases, AI-generated misinformation that spreads like a virus. And then there's the whole black box problem. What do you do when an AI makes a huge decision about someone's life, and we literally can't explain why it made that choice? The good news is the industry is really starting to get it. Having strong ethical rules of the road, governance, is no longer seen as a nice-to-have or an optional extra. It's becoming table stakes. It's the cost of entry. Building trust with the public is now every bit as important as building better technology. Accountability has to be baked in from the start. So we end up right back where we started. Tool or teammate? Well, it's pretty clear the answer is teammate, and that leaves us with a final, much harder question. As our new teammates get more and more autonomous, how do we make absolutely sure they stay aligned with our goals and our values? Answering that is the single biggest challenge that will define the next decade of our lives.